Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker. Today, we got a couple of fun stories to talk about. Justice fired for being too white and male. I did a little research on this, and I can find a reason why he was fired being white and male, but I didn't find good reasoning why he was fired other than this. And maybe you guys that are over in Germany can give me some input on this. Before we get started on that, I will mention this. I got a suggestion in the email that says, will you stop with the face for radio and voice for print? It really is cringe and lame. It's also gotten really old. So from now on, my introductions will be like this. Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker, with a face for radio and a voice for print. So let's get on to the main story here. This is from USSAnews.com. And again, I have a countering story, but it doesn't do a great job in protecting the Greens for why they did this. A German justice minister replaced for being a white male. And this is just from, a day ago? Nope, today. The German Green Party has fired Justice Minister Dirk Adams ostensibly for no other reason than him being a white and male. Replaced him with an unqualified woman of African heritage. Yes, really. Adams was dismissed from his role in the German state of Thuringia, not because he had been caught engaged in any wrongdoing, but because of his skin color and being male. Adams will now be replaced by Afro-German. Are they black? Are they African something? A lot of these people didn't come from Africa. What are we doing here? People can't make up their mind. I think in a recent poll, most black people just wanted to be called black. Doreen Denstadt, Thuringia's, I think that's right, Thuringia's minister president Bodo Ramelow of the Left Party fired Adams, who was the minister for migration, justice, and consumer protection. They say she's only served as a clerk in the police trust office, and her lack of experience in any real substantive role means her improbable career leap to her new position as justice minister for an entire German state appears to have been due to her skin color and gender. Now, I'll say this much. Look, if you're a male or if a white female or whatever, and you're all in for equality and hiring people based on their immutable characteristics, when you're replaced by someone for their characteristics, immutable characteristics, when you're replaced for that, I feel zero sympathy for you. Actually, I kind of find it rather ironic and funny that you're pushing for all this stuff, and then when that stuff replaces you, you want to complain. Adams had been in his position since March of 2020 and expressed no desire to leave, but was asked to resign. When he said no, they fired him. So, sorry. That duly happened, and Adams was replaced for being pale, stale, and male. When a minister has to go because he's a white man to be replaced by a black woman, that is open racism and gender discrimination, said AfD politician Beatrix von Storch. The Greens celebrated ousting Adams by heralding it as a sign of the importance that the topics of integration and migration have for us Alliance Greens. And they go on a little bit more about politics and stuff like that. But they say here, last year, Greens announced a PR campaign celebrating its vision for the future of the country. Out of all the promo posters created for the campaign, none featured any white people. In the name of promoting diversity, ruling Greens in the German, the city of Hanover, that's how it's written, also announced a plan to ban a third of native citizens from applying for government jobs so they can be given to migrants. So now if you're a native German, you can't apply for a job once you get past 2/3 of Germans already there. In the West, many of the white males who sign up for the plan of multiculturalism and progressivism and open borders are finding that they are too white and too male to be used to the socio-political system any longer, writes John Cody. Now, this woman was I guess she was a former office administrator for the police, and I think it was in this article they said that she referred to Germans as potatoes, that they were too much potato. But again, I can't feel sorry for these people because this is the kind of nonsense that you run for But then you're upset when it takes out your job. So I did a search. This is originally in German. This is mdr.de. Here's the thing for any of you Germans. I don't know what's a reputable and not reputable website. This seemed to be relatively neutral. With a view to the 2024 state election, the Thuringian Greens are filling their two ministerial offices in the red green state government of Prime Minister Bodo Ramelow, the Left Party. They name a policewoman and a former acting director as new ministers. So out with the old, but they are putting in an old white guy here. He's a former acting director, and she's a former, I guess, policewoman that did secretarial and administrative work. Anyway, here's what they say about it, and I think this is the important part. The president of the district council sees no objective reasons from the point of the view of the president of the Thuringian City Council, Martina Schwarzenberg. The replacement of the two ministries was purely party political decision. The CDU politician, on the other hand, does not see any objective reasons. She could not see more technical competence in both future ministers than in the predecessors, especially with the Green State spokeswoman, Bernard Stengel, who succeeded Anja Seismond as environmental and energy minister. She has doubts. Sorry for all the stumbling today. A lot of these sentence structures and the words translated from German names. I'm not familiar with all that. So what's interesting is they took out two people. They replaced them, and this one gentleman lost his job to a black woman that does not really have that much technical competency when it comes to running the government. And here's what I find interesting. They state this in the story. But I'm going to paraphrase because it's a very long article. They said basically that the outed gentleman, what's his name here? Minister Dirk Adams, he was focused on energy. He said, hey, the windmills aren't turning. The solar panels are not getting enough electricity. Germans' electric prices are going too high. That is my focus, and that's what we're going to work on. And the Greens were criticizing him because he wasn't paying enough attention to immigration. So apparently it's more important to get more migrants into the country than it is to bring down the cost of energy for Germans. That's the way it reads. Now, maybe I've gotten some errors in here. Again, I tried to go find another news source other than the one that initially had just announced, but they even say themselves, like, there really wasn't any good reason to let these other people go, and they're filling them with positions, one of which is a black woman, his position specifically, even though they don't have really any experience in law, in government, in anything, and out with the old, in with the new. So what I find interesting about this is that, number one, the social woke, if you are white and male, they're coming for you. I mean, that's just the way it is. You are at the bottom of the rung now when it comes to identity politics. When it comes to having any clout, you're at the bottom rung of the ladder, which many will say is the opposite of the way it's been for a long, long time. The problem with that is when you start hiring people that don't know what they're doing, and I won't get into our own politics here in the United States for that stuff, but there's many of them. When you start getting people based on their skin color, their gender, or who they like to sleep with and all that stuff, and you start ignoring how good they are at their actual jobs, you're going to get a world in kind of which we are now, which is the politicians don't know what's going on. They don't know how to fix anything. They don't know how to get us out of trouble. We're just fumbling and stumbling our way through this, and we're in for bad times. And until we hit rock bottom, and we start maybe hiring people for positions that actually know what they're doing, regardless of what they look like or male, female, or who they sleep with. Once we start ignoring that stuff and getting back to the real issues at hand, I think we're going to be in some dark times. So, if you've got a woman that's coming in and replacing somebody, and she's calling German people saying they're too potatoes, or they're too much of a potato, meaning white. And they said that, and they did say that this gentleman was too pale in his role. Now, I don't know if that means something else in German, like it means he's too weak, or if he's literally too pale. I don't know. But with identity politics anymore, would it surprise you if they came in and said, no, actually, yeah, he's too white for the job and we're removing him for that? And they're focusing on immigration and making sure that a third of Germans can't apply for jobs so they can fill it with migrant roles. When you start doing this, you're going to have to find that fine balance of bringing in more immigrants to fill roles, denying Germans the roles, or denying whoever the roles. And eventually you're going to trap yourself in a corner where no one's that's qualified for the jobs that are German are going to be there able to do the jobs, and you're going to get a bunch of migrants that probably don't even know how to speak German and don't know what they're doing put in these roles, and the wheels are going to fall off. And you know what? I'm frantically trying to set up property and get off the grid and make sure I can survive this, because once things start going down, I don't see a way it improves. Guys, if you're over on YouTube, please join us here on betterbachelor.locals.com. That's where we're going to do dating profile of the day and all the interesting stuff that we can't do here on YouTube anymore.